The arena was filled with screams, flashing lights, and thousands of eyes locked on the stage. Then suddenly, everything changed. What started as another playful moment between Jin and Taehyung instantly turned into something no one was ready for. With a mischievous smile, Jin swung his microphone toward Taehyung as if it was just another joke between them, but a second later, Taehyung's expression completely changed. His body folded, his face tightened in pain, and the entire crowd gasped at once. But what shocked fans even more was Jimin. Sitting right beside them, his confused expression froze as if he couldn't understand whether this was still part of their usual chaos or something had gone too far. Cameras kept rolling, fans started screaming, and within seconds, this unexpected moment became one of the most talked about scenes of the night. The real question is, was this just another Jin and Taehyung joke, or did something happen that no one noticed? The atmosphere inside the stadium had already reached its peak long before that moment happened. Thousands of light sticks moved like waves across the darkness, cameras pointed toward the stage from every direction, and every movement from the members instantly triggered screams powerful enough to shake the entire arena. It was supposed to be another unforgettable night filled with laughter, music, and the kind of unpredictable chemistry only they could create. Nobody in the crowd could have guessed that one playful action would completely change the energy of the night. For fans who had followed them for years, seeing Jin and Taehyung teasing each other was nothing new. Their friendship had always been built on chaos, unexpected jokes, and moments that made the audience laugh harder than anyone else in the room. Their bond felt effortless, natural, almost impossible to fake. Whenever one started something, the other always found a way to make it even bigger. That was exactly why no one thought twice when Jin suddenly leaned closer with a mischievous expression that instantly caught the attention of nearby cameras. At first, fans expected another harmless prank. Some were already lifting their phones higher, knowing something funny was about to happen. Others started screaming before anything even happened, simply because they recognized that familiar look on Jin's face. It was the same expression that had led to countless unforgettable moments in the past. But this time, the energy shifted faster than anyone expected. The second the microphone made contact, the reaction was immediate. Taehyung's entire body moved unexpectedly, his expression changing so fast that even the giant screen struggled to capture every detail. The smile that had been there just seconds earlier disappeared. His posture changed. His eyes tightened. His body instinctively folded as if the impact had caught him completely off guard. Then came the silence. It lasted only a few seconds, but for everyone inside that stadium, it felt much longer. Thousands of people who had been screaming just moments earlier suddenly froze. Some fans covered their mouths. Others zoomed in with shaking hands, trying to understand what they had just seen. Social media clips would later show the exact moment the crowd's energy shifted from laughter to confusion. And then there was Jimin. Sitting close enough to see everything unfold in real time, his reaction quickly became one of the biggest topics among fans watching both in person and online. His face changed almost instantly. The playful atmosphere around him seemed to disappear as his eyes followed Taehyung's movement with visible confusion. For a brief moment, he didn't look like someone watching a joke between friends. He looked like someone trying to figure out if what just happened was still part of the game, or if something had crossed a line. That single expression sent fans into complete emotional chaos. Within minutes, clips of Jimin's reaction began spreading across fan communities. People started replaying the footage frame by frame. Some insisted everything was normal, pointing out how Jin and Taehyung had always pushed each other in playful ways. Others weren't so sure. The way Taehyung reacted felt too real for some viewers. The way Jimin stared without smiling made others even more suspicious. But what happened next created even more questions. As the cameras continued moving across the stage, fans noticed something that made the entire moment even harder to explain. Jin, who had looked completely playful just moments earlier, seemed to change too. His confident expression faded for a split second, replaced by something fans couldn't stop talking about. Some called it concern. Others called it guilt. A few believed it was simply part of the performance. No one agreed. Taehyung, meanwhile, stayed in that position just long enough to make the crowd uncomfortable. Every second felt heavier than the last. Fans in the front rows stopped screaming altogether. Some looked at each other with worried expressions. Others kept filming, knowing they might be witnessing one of those rare, unscripted moments that reveal more than any stage performance ever could. Then the crowd began to react again, louder than before, but this time it wasn't excitement. It was uncertainty. Across social media, the clip exploded almost instantly. Hashtags began trending within minutes. Fan edits, slowed versions, zoomed reactions, and emotional analyses flooded every platform. Some videos reached hundreds of thousands of views before the concert had even ended. Everyone wanted the same answer. Was it really just another joke between two best friends, or was there something hidden in that moment that cameras accidentally captured? And perhaps the biggest mystery of all, why did Jimin's expression never fully return to normal after that moment, as the clip continued spreading across social media? The moment that was supposed to last only a few seconds began taking on a life of its own. Fan pages, reaction channels, short-form edits, and discussion forums all exploded at once. Every platform seemed to be showing the same frozen frame, Jin leaning forward with the microphone still in his hand, Taehyung bent over with an expression nobody could fully explain, and Jimin sitting nearby with a face that fans would soon call one of the most unreadable reactions of the night. What made the situation even more intense was how differently everyone interpreted the same moment. Some fans insisted it was nothing more than another classic Jin and Taehyung interaction, pointing to years of playful chaos between them. Others argued that something felt completely different this time. It wasn't only Taehyung's reaction that kept people watching the clip over and over. It was the energy that followed immediately after. Those who were sitting closer to the stage began sharing their own recordings, each from slightly different angles. Some clips showed the moment more clearly than the main concert camera. Others captured reactions from fans in the crowd, faces turning from laughter to confusion in a matter of seconds. Light sticks that had been moving wildly suddenly stopped. Phones that were recording began shaking as fans tried to zoom in closer. And then another detail started to catch attention. Just seconds after the incident, Jin appeared to glance toward Taehyung again, quickly, almost instinctively. It wasn't a long look. It lasted barely a moment. But in a world where millions of fans could slow down every frame, that glance became the center of endless discussions. Some believed it was concern. Others thought it was simply checking if the joke landed. But no one could ignore how quickly his expression changed afterward. Meanwhile, Taehyung's movements became another mystery. Normally, after one of their playful moments, he would bounce back almost instantly, often turning the joke around and making the crowd scream even louder. That had become part of their chemistry, something fans expected and loved. But this time, the recovery felt slower. Much slower. He stayed lowered for longer than usual. That detail alone sent fans into another wave of speculation. Many started comparing the footage to old concert clips, pulling up moments from past tours where Jin and Taehyung had joked with each other on stage. Video compilations began appearing online within minutes. Side-by-side comparisons, slow-motion edits, emotional fan analyses, every detail was being examined. And the more people watched, the less certain they became. But then the cameras unintentionally captured something else. Jimin. While the crowd's attention was fixed on Taehyung, a nearby fan camera stayed locked on Jimin for a few extra seconds. What it caught immediately became one of the most shared clips of the night. His eyes followed Taehyung's movement carefully, almost as if he was waiting for something. Fans noticed that he didn't laugh right away. He didn't react like someone watching a harmless joke unfold in front of him. For a brief moment, he looked genuinely unsure. That single reaction changed everything. Because once fans noticed it, they couldn't unsee it. Comment sections filled with emotional theories. Some fans said Jimin's expression revealed that something unexpected had happened. Others believed he simply got caught off guard like everyone else. But one thing became undeniable. His reaction made the moment feel far more serious than anyone initially thought. Inside the stadium, the members eventually continued moving, The music continued, and the crowd slowly found its energy again. But something had changed. Even fans who were there in person later admitted that the atmosphere never felt exactly the same afterward. There was still laughter, still music, still unforgettable performances, but beneath all of it, there was a question nobody could shake. What really happened in those few seconds? As the concert moved forward, eagle-eyed fans noticed that Jin and Taehyung didn't interact the same way for a while. They were still close, still professional, still smiling. But the usual explosive chaos between them seemed quieter, more controlled, almost as if both of them were aware that millions of eyes were now watching every move. That silence created even more curiosity. By the end of the night, clips of the incident had already crossed millions of views. Fan accounts from different countries were posting translations, theories, emotional edits, and frame-by-frame breakdowns. Some called it the most shocking stage moment of the tour. Others called it proof of how real their friendship was, messy, spontaneous, and impossible to script. But just when fans thought the mystery would slowly fade, another unseen angle from the crowd began surfacing online. And what it showed next made everything even harder to explain. By the time the newly surfaced angle began spreading across fan communities, millions of people had already formed their own conclusions. Some believed it was a harmless joke that had simply looked more dramatic under stage lighting and camera zoom. Others were convinced something much deeper had happened in those few seconds. But when the new footage appeared, everything changed again. Unlike the main stage camera, this recording came from a fan sitting much closer to the side of the arena. The video wasn't perfectly stable. The screams of the crowd were louder, rawer, more emotional. The camera shook as the person recording tried to follow every movement. But sometimes the most chaotic recordings reveal the details official cameras miss. And this one revealed exactly that. As the moment played again from a different angle, fans noticed something that had somehow gone unseen in every previous clip. Just before Jin moved the microphone, Taehyung had been leaning slightly forward, laughing at something happening off to the side of the stage. His posture was relaxed, his guard completely down. He wasn't expecting anything. Not even for a second. That realization alone changed how many people viewed the entire situation. Because now the impact looked different. The timing felt sharper. More sudden. More unexpected. Social media erupted again.